Hi guys, today we've got a fun quick project. We're going to be planting up the big blue containers for summer, and I am so excited about this. So if you remember, a couple weeks ago we planted this whole space right here with zinnias and dwarf sunflowers. So I'm going to be mirroring this a little bit in the big blue pots. I came out here early this morning because I needed to organize the patio. It has become a landing strip for the most random stuff. We've got bags of mulch and nursery containers, seedling trays, tables just full of stuff. So I kind of organized it as best I could, and I also prepped the blue pots so we could just plant them right up. I took all the boxwoods and the whipcord arborvitaes out and put them back in nursery containers until I can find a more permanent spot for them. But I did go ahead and prep the soil. So I topped up each pot with some fresh potting soil, and I added some slow release fertilizer to each pot. So all we have to do is just come in and plant. So here's the current state of the back patio. You can see we've got bags of mulch, tables of seedlings. We've got our tomatoes and our peppers up there. I left the two big blue containers over here because I didn't want to try and maneuver them out over here. But you can see we've got, on this side, we've got a couple of red buds, some lemony lace elderberries, a dwarf mugo pine, a random evergreen of some sort, just a whole mishmash of stuff. These are the strawberries that I pulled out of the raised beds. This is our chamomile, which is starting to flower. So exciting. And these are the boxwoods and the whipcord that I took out of the big blue containers and repotted them. They're just kind of sitting there draining. I've got them all watered in, so they'll be good to go. And these are the other two blue containers that we're going to be potting up. They're usually situated on the opposite corners, and this is what we're going to be planting them up with. We've got Play in the Blue Salvia, which you can kind of see a bumblebee has already found it, and these are typically covered in pollinators. Bumblebees, honeybees, butterflies, you name it. So we're going to be planting these. These are going to be kind of like our centerpiece. And then I'm going to mirror what we did on that back stretch over there with the zinnias and the sunflowers. I'm going to mirror that with the remaining sunflowers. So I'm going to put a plain the blue salvia in the middle, and then I'm going to dot it with 3 dwarf sunflowers. And I think that color combination is going to look really pretty because we've got the deep, deep violet purple from the salvia and the bright yellow from the actual sunflowers. And I'll put a picture up of what these dwarf sunflowers look like so you can kind of see like the comparison. They're just going to be so pretty. So this is the slow release fertilizer that I added to the containers. I used this in all my annual containers last year too, and it works really well. It's actually heat activated, so once the soil warms up more, it will slowly start releasing its nutrients into the soil and the plants can take it up. And you can see these little pellets in here. That's the slow release fertilizer. So these are all prepped. All 4 of them are prepped. We just need to come in and plant them. And I said I was going to mirror the pots with the zinnias and the sunflowers that we planted along this back fence here, but I'm also going to mirror what we're planting in the pots to this space over here. So we've got 4 Play in the Blue salvias for the 4 blue pots and some sunflowers. So over here in this strip, we've got the zinnias and the sunflowers, and I've got 4 Play in the Blue salvias dotted on each fence post. So I think it's going to be kind of cool to have both this flower bed and those 4 pots kind of just playing off each other and just kind of pulling this whole area together. One last thing, the Play in the Blue salvia can get pretty big, anywhere from 2.5 to 4 feet tall. When I planted it in the blue containers last year, it got upwards of like 3.5 feet. So planting it in the landscape this year as well as in the pots, it's going to be fun to kind of see how they do in both scenarios. I'm really curious to see what it does in the ground because I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to do in these containers. All right guys, here we go. All right guys, we've got both of these potted up. I've got the Play in the Blue Salvia right in the center, and then I took 3 of the dwarf sunflowers and just dotted them around, and that's pretty much it. Simple, but colorful and beautiful. Now, I know these don't look like much right now, but give them a couple weeks and we'll really start to see some growth. On to the next 2. Okay, I've got 1 salvia in the ground, and I did have to transplant a zinnia to make room for it, and we may have to do that again when we plant the last 3. Okay, we got everything planted and it looks so good. Let's start over here by the fence and then we'll work our way back to the patio. So here we are, and here are the salvia. I put 1 in front of each fence post. So we have a total of 4. And I think with all of the zinnias and the sunflowers that we've planted, this is just going to be amazing. Here it is from the other side, walking back towards the backyard. Look at them. Oh, they're so pretty. And here's a little boxwood hedge that we planted up last week. Okay, let's swing back around to the patio. We've got 1 of the blue containers here. Here is the other one. And they look so good. So I've got the 1 salvia right in the center, and I dotted 3 of the dwarf sunflowers, kind of like in a triangle. And honestly, you guys, like, I am so anxious to see what these are gonna look like in a few weeks, because this gets huge and these get big too. So this whole thing is gonna be jam-packed full of color. Let's go walk over here. Take a look at the other 2. Now these are in sun right now. The other ones will be in sun shortly. Don't they look good? I think this is one of my favorite annuals. Play in the Blue Salvia. There's the other one. They all pretty much kind of look the same right now. And 4th and final one in the corner. Oh, and there's another bee, another bumblebee. So this is what I used in the soil before I planted. This is the slow release fertilizer, and this is the premium water soluble plant food fertilizer. This is what I'm going to be using when I water them. I'm going to fertilize them once a week, and it's really simple. We have a brand new tub. So they come in these 2 packs of fertilizer. There's the other one. And you also get a little measuring spoon. And it's really simple. You just take 1 scoop per gallon, put it in your water jug, fill it with water, mix it up, and just water as usual. And this has all the good stuff to keep the plants blooming and keep the leaves nice and green. And I used these on all my containers last year, and this is a powerhouse combo right here. Really happy to get these containers planted and to get that salvia in the ground. Looking forward to seeing all of these flowers just bloom and explode. Yellows and blues and browns. I think that's just going to be beautiful. And the fact that the containers are going to kind of mirror some of what's going on over by the fence, and the fence is going to kind of pull from the containers, just that cohesion that just kind of brings it all in together. So excited to see what these things do. And I just realized that I forgot to water in the plants that we planted in the ground. So I'm going to go do that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.